Death is inevitable, and at some point it arrives for all of us. And there are various ways to die, from the most peaceful to the most heroic, leaving your legacy for generations. Thinking about this recurring theme, I was curious and wanted to bring a different video to you. We often do not pay attention to these small details, especially in complex works with various engaging plots to hold on to. But would you be able to tell me how each of the Hokage died? So in this video we will see how the death of each Hokage was, from Hashirama to Naruto, and yes, Naruto is also on this list. And if you remember, this video is also for you, to remember those moments that changed the whole course of the anime. So stay until the end and pay attention to all the details. Welcome to the Nerdficando channel, and guys, if you're sensitive like me, already get a tissue, because today we're going to talk about a serious subject. We all know that the Hokage are the most powerful and skilled ninjas of Konoha. But even the most powerful person in the universe cannot deviate from the natural course of life, which inevitably is death, even if Orochimaru tries everything not to die. So I thought of reminding you of how the death of our dear Hokage was. Do you remember how Hiruzen Sarutobi fought with all his might to protect the village of Konoha? Or how Danzou lost an intense battle against Sasuke Uchiha? And even more, how Tobirama Senju sacrificed himself for his students and the rest of the inhabitants of his village? Today I will also talk about the mysterious death of Hashirama Senju. So stay until the end, I'm sure you won't regret it. But what cannot die is your like. Already leave your like and subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss any news. Without further ado, let's go to the video. Hashirama Senju. Well guys, let's start with our dear and incomparable Hashirama Senju. Conquering the title of God Shinobi, we already know he wasn't just any ninja. Hashirama, after founding Konoha with his friend Madara Uchiha, was elected the first Hokage. With his incredible Kekkei Genkai of the wood element, he also had the ability of instant regeneration. He was considered the best ninja in the entire Naruto universe. It is said that Hashirama died in combat. However, no ninja of his time, not even Madara Uchiha, or a great army could face him. Remembering also that Kakuzo was sent to assassinate Hashirama Senju, but after failing the Kakuzo village marked him for failure. One of the valid information to add is that Hashirama did not die of old age, as he only lived long enough to pass the Hokage position to his brother, and this was years before the first great ninja war. Hashirama also did not die from diseases, as even today his cells are used in studies and forms of healing, since he had the ability of regeneration. So how did Hashirama die? Very likely he died due to his ability of regeneration. Because of the accelerated way his cells worked, it may have caused exhaustion of his body and he could no longer regenerate and succumb to death. This exhaustion of the cells has scientific foundation, called the Hayflick limit, which says that cells can be divided up to 50 times until they are taken to accelerated aging. Thus, the most plausible theories are premature aging or cancer due to the death of a large number of cells. Tobirama Senju. Moving on to the second Hokage, Tobirama Senju, younger brother of Hashirama, who was also an unparalleled ninja and creator of countless powerful jutsus, among them Edo Tensei, the flying thunder god used by Minato Namikaze in the Shadow Clone. Well, he had a tragic but heroic end during the first great ninja war. Tobirama Senju, unlike Hashirama, was a more strategic ninja who followed all logic instead of relying on emotional decisions. So much so that when his brother Hashirama wanted to give the tails beasts to other nations, he gave the idea of selling them to increase the power of the beasts. We all believe that Tobirama wanted to exterminate all Uchiha, but it wasn't like that. He was just an extremely cautious leader, and that's why he was extremely suspicious of the Uchiha. In addition to obviously a lot of pain for losing his two younger brothers in the conflicts in the era of the fighters. So much so that Tobirama was right to be suspicious, as we can see that the great catalyst for the first great ninja war was Madara. Madara, in all his expertise, put the idea into the citizens of the Stone Village that the Leaf Village wanted to control all the ninja villages in the world and that eventually there would be great battles. As the second Hokage, Tobirama brought numerous improvements to the village, such as the creation of Umbu, the Ninja Academy, and even the Chunin exam. However, none of these improvements would be seen in a positive light by the other villages, as the seed of doubt against Konoha had already been planted and soon the first war would explode. The war was quite destructive for many villages. There were many casualties in the ninja world during this period. During a conflict with ninja from the Cloud Village, Tobirama was with a team of 6 other shinobi: Hiruzen, Danzou, Kagami, Torafu, and Hamira. They were surrounded by the Kinkaku attack force, with 20 ninja, including Kinkaku and Ginkaku, the Gold and Silver brothers. And in his logical decision, Tobirama decides to stay as bait so that his team could safely leave. Before going to battle, he appointed Hiruzen Sarutobi as the third Hokage. Tobirama fought bravely. This is because the Gold and Silver brothers carried tools from the Sage of the Six Paths with them. But with his sacrifice, he ends up saving and giving opportunities for improvement to Konoha. After several months of his death, a treaty was signed putting an end to the First Great War. Hiruzen Sarutobi. As previously mentioned, Hiruzen Sarutobi was appointed as the third Hokage by his teacher Tobirama Senju. Hiruzen was the ninja who held the leadership position for the longest time. He was the teacher of Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru, who would later become the legendary Three Sanins. Sarutobi was the Hokage who had the most involvement in the history of the anime, as after the death of Minato Namikaze, he resumed the position and also took care of Naruto during his childhood. He was the only Hokage who retired and returned to this position after retirement. One of the most questionable points in his tenure was his permission for Orochimaru to escape, letting his student loose even knowing what the villain was capable of. The main reason we question this attitude is because with this permission Sarutobi gives Orochimaru the opportunity to become stronger and have more time to improve his attack strategy against the village of Konoha. It was due to this act that Hiruzen ended up dying. With a more elaborate plan, Orochimaru returns to destroy Konoha and even uses the Edo Tensei as a way to summon the other 2 first Hokages in a battle with Hiruzen. At the beginning of the battle, Hiruzen can feel the pleasure of fighting against his old teachers. He ends up trying to finish them off with a powerful fire jutsu, but is easily countered by a counterattack from Tobirama. And then he is captured in Hashirama's wood style. Hiruzen then summons Enma to take him out of this situation. The truth is that the third Hokage did not want to fight against his old teachers, and even more, he was heartbroken to see his favorite student trying to destroy his own village. Having no other choice to save his village, Hiruzen uses a combination of shadow clones and the demon consumer's seal to seal the souls of his old teachers. He tries to seal Orochimaru's soul along with it, but with battle expertise, Orochimaru calls his Kusanagi, thus hitting Hiruzen. Despite the fatal injury, Hiruzen continued trying to remove Orochimaru's soul, and upon realizing it was useless, he decided to seal his student's arms, in the hope that it would correct his previous mistakes and as a punishment for his obsession with power. With that, Hiruzen ended up having his soul sealed along with the jutsu used. In addition to dying heroically, the third Hokage leaves the ninja world peacefully and with a smile on his face. Minato Namikaze. Guys, get your tissues ready because now we have reached the saddest death in the entire anime. Minato Namikaze, the yellow flash of Konoha and one of the most feared in the entire world. To give you an idea, the generals of other nations gave the order and permission to flee if they encountered this ninja. As such a powerful ninja, who faced several elite squads alone, created the Rasengan and fought with people of the caliber of the Raikage and Killer Bee, ended up having his end? As we all know, our beloved 4th Hokage died on the fateful night of the Nine-Tailed Fox attack. But let's recap what happened. Kushina Uzumaki, his wife, was pregnant with Naruto, which is an extremely complicated situation, as during the pregnancy of a Jinchuriki, it is the most fragile moment of the seal that contains the bijou. So that the birth would occur peacefully, Minato and Kushina moved away with the Umbu to a more remote place, where they could control any accidents. Everything was calm until the masked man, who we know to be Obito Uchiha, attacked the place. Obito ends up taking the young Naruto and wrapping him in bomb papers, making Minato teleport with his son and the bombs. However, due to the explosion, he ends up getting hurt with some splinters, and that hampered him a little, but it did not prevent him from continuing to be the greatest myth of the village. The fox was there causing some trouble and hurting the people of the village, while Minato fought and lost his energy with the masked man. Minato was able to fight so well, and left everything at stake in safety, but when it came to sealing the fox, Kushina was no longer in a condition to be a receptacle, and thus the fourth Hokage used the same technique as his predecessor, to seal half of the bijou inside him and half in Naruto. Unfortunately, it cost him his life, and Kushina ends up dying through Kurama's attack, leaving Naruto without his parents. Tsunade Senju. Thanks to Kishimoto, our beloved 5th Hokage, Tsunade Senju is still alive and well in Boruto, even though she is quite advanced in age. However, there are two moments when this powerful kunoichi came very close to death, to the point of seeing death pass before her eyes. Tsunade Senju approached death during the attack of pain. This is because even though she avoided a face-to-face confrontation with the shinobi, she used too much chakra to care for the injuries of an entire village. The second time was much more serious and really took us to have heart attacks. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, Tsunade and the other Kage fought against Madara's clones, where she almost died when her body was almost torn in half. However, due to her incredible power and physical resistance, she was able to survive. However, even with her abilities, she had the help of Karen Uzumaki and her healing power to keep her alive. Danzou Shimura. Here's a little bonus for you. Danzou Shimura never actually became a Hokage, but he took advantage of Tsunade Senju's coma to try to take this position by force. Danzou Shimura is one of the most hated characters in the entire anime because he is so calculating and always does everything to try to take the leadership position of the village. For many years of his life, he was against all of Hiruzen's decisions and was even responsible for the creation of Akatsuki and Yahiko's death. In addition to interfering with the lives of countless people, he created a secret order within Anbu, forced Itachi to carry out the massacre of the Uchiha clan, and even attacked young Shisui to steal his powerful Sharingan. Despite so much unnecessary destruction, Danzou ends up doing something worthwhile during his fight against Sasuke, because regardless of what many claim, Shimura was not murdered by the young Uchiha. Seeing that the fight was getting worse and that he would end up having some future problems if his powers fell into Sasuke's hands, Danzou ends up using a sealing jutsu and committing suicide at the end of the fight. Kakashi Hatake. Although he was not yet a Hokage at the time, Kakashi Hatake also saw death pass by his eyes, or better yet, he actually died. During Pain's attack on Konoha, an attack aimed at capturing Naruto and extracting Kurama, the future 6th Hokage died by using all of his chakra reserves to save the life of Chuji Akimichi, who had important information that should be brought to Tsunade. Kakashi bravely fought with one of Pain's paths and ended up overusing his Manjikyu Sharingan, leading to a great exhaustion of his body and the loss of all of his chakra reserves, causing his body to succumb to death. During his minutes of death, he had the opportunity to meet his father and talk about various things. It was also one of the most emotional moments, where we can see Kakashi with his barriers lowered and able to tell his father that he understood the reasons of the elder and that he did not hold a grudge against his actions. Kakashi fought so bravely with Pain that he was even considered a worthy adversary by the leader of the Akatsuki. After being defeated and with the power of the discourse and the jutsu, Pain regrets and decides to use the power of Rebirth and bring back to life all the victims of his attack on Konoha. Guys, I'm sure that most, if not all, of you were very happy with this event. Naruto Uzumaki. Now moving on to our beloved 7th Hokage, for Kishimoto's sake, Naruto is still alive and well, thank goodness. He worked for years to achieve his dream, and suddenly dying would certainly leave many fans upset, including me. It is worth noting that Naruto is alive today, but he also had a death experience long before becoming the famous 7th Hokage. During the 4th Ninja War, where the entire ninja world bravely fought against Madara Uchiha, Naruto went through the painful extraction of Kyuubi. During the battle, after gaining unimaginable powers, Madara Uchiha is able to create the Jubi from the chakra tree and thus captures all the Biju. With his chain powers that extract the Biju, the Jubi captures and manages to extract half of Kurama that is inside Naruto, thus killing him. His heart was almost not beating and Naruto only survives due to Sakura's medical abilities, which keeps his heart beating. Although still safe and sound, we suffered a great loss. Due to an extremely complicated fight, Naruto is able to activate a new power granted by Kurama. That's right, I'm talking about the Baryon mode. Our dear Kyuubi ends up deceiving Naruto by saying that the price of this power would be the blonde's death, but upon defeating the powerful villain, Kurama reveals the truth and ends up dying, causing insurmountable pain to all of us. We can also say that Naruto's death is approaching. Based on what we saw in the first episode of Boruto, there is a great possibility that he will be killed by Kawaki or any other more powerful villain. But for now, we can only wait and enjoy while Naruto is still fulfilling his role as Hokage and realizing his childhood dream. But there is a power worthy of a Hokage, which is the power of like the video. This has the power to encourage me to bring more videos to the channel. On the screen there are 2 interesting videos, I hope you like both. Thank you for coming this far, I'll see you in the next video.